Hi, I'm Sarah Price. You're gonna hear a lot of music that I wrote, and I hope you're gonna like it. And we're gonna start off with a song from my very first album, Regular Craving, that I wrote when I was back in Austria, where I come from. And I hope you're gonna enjoy it.
You are here, so beautiful. I'm alone.
I think I'm always very excited when I'm on stage. I'm always having stage fright. And I love this feeling when after the first song my stage fright kind of goes away and I look at the people and I look at my musicians and I'm thinking, this is awesome. This is just, what I've been working on for such a long time, and this is why I'm doing all of that. So I think being on the stage is just, also you're so curious about what the musicians are going to do with your songs, even though you have rehearsed them and you know that they're good, but what happens on the stage is always a bit spontaneous. Even though you've rehearsed it and you've planned it, you can never say what's going to happen, and maybe the guitar player is going to play a solo and it just blows you away and the audience reacts to it. And I just love these moments of people, coming together and being spontaneous and being willing to listen to something. And that's a great feeling. That's a great feeling.
She wants to give me her heart. She wants to make a new start. She wants to listen to my breath so she can escape her own death. She wants breakfast in bed and the papers of bread. She wants to go in the sky and things without her. She can fly. She can fly. But it's not gonna be me. No, it's not gonna be me. No, it's not gonna be me. Not for a very long time.
It does affect your creativity when you're living in a city like New York. I think that the place where you live really influences who you are, how you work, how you deal with your daily life. New York affects me in a way that I'm definitely more stressed. There's a lot of stress you have to deal with here. There's a lot of things, material things you have to sort out. And you have to sort of define yourself almost on a daily basis, because there is so many people around you all of the time. And what makes you special? What makes you more special than any one of those people out there? And in New York, there's a lot of great people here. There's a lot of talented, amazing, beautiful people walking on the street. And I think that inspires me a lot, and it makes me more critical towards myself in a good way. Like, what impression do I give off, and is it the impression that I want to give off? And that doesn't mean you have to lose who you are or you have to be somebody else, but maybe give away a little bit more of the positive things you have and less of the negative things. And I think that's how New York influences me as a person and as a musician. Try to be more positive, because there is no point in being pessimistic. There is no point. If you're in New York City, you don't have the time to be pessimistic, and it takes away too much energy. You should really focus your energy on the things that are necessary for your life, and you need good vibes in your life. So make sure there's always a lot of good vibes around you, no matter how you do it.
Yes, I'm leaving home, going all alone. Driving on the road, houses bought and sold. You are on my way, but I cannot stay. Have to travel on, have to make me strong. Don't try and stop me, 'cause I'm on my way.
favorite song that you've written?
I have a couple of songs that I like a lot, but one song I like a lot is Nothing Impossible, because this song just explains so well how I was feeling at the time. The lyrics are like, nothing impossible passes me by. It always takes my hand, tells me just fly. And it's like, I felt at the time that whatever happened to me, I had no control over it. And I kind of just had to go along with it and see where it would take me. And that song is sort of saying, even if it happens to you, even if you feel you've got no control, just go along with it. And in the end, you're gonna fly, because you can trust life, you know, you can trust where life takes you.
Nothing impossible passes me by. It always takes my hand, tells me just fly, tells me just fly, tells me just fly. Spares me the pain, whispers into my ear that same old refrain, that same old refrain, that same old refrain. Always the same. When you want all, you get nothing at all. That's for sure. That's for sure. So you better behave. Don't try and get out of the cage. Don't you try and get out of the cage.
What do you think about the American music scene? How would you compare it with Austria and the rest of Europe?
I think the American music scene is very different from the European music scene because of course you have got the whole jazz coming from the States, from here, coming from America. You've got blues, and then which later developed into R&B. You've got the whole gospel thing going on here that you don't have so much in Europe. I think basically what you can say is that the American music scene is more defined by and living in the tradition of jazz and blues, whereas European music has its roots in classical music, even though a lot of people in Europe probably would hate me for saying that. But it's true because we have a lot of electronic music these days that is very experimental, and we try to write weird, music very often. We're more also into experimental music, which can also be a pop song. You can also be very experimental in a pop song. And the whole vibe is just more serious, I would say, than it is in America, where it's more like, let's have a celebration, work is done, let's celebrate. You've got musicals here in America. I mean, there is a reason why musicals came out of America, because it's this sense of, let's just sing and dance and play around and not care so much what people think. But in Europe, you care what people think. You want them to have a good impression of you, and I also think that comes across in the pop music. I do.
You're always on the run until you long for the safe side. You got everything you can until you search for love. You want to explain now, not complicated, until you need to play the game. And I have always been a sucker for you.
What kind of music don't you like and why not?
That's an easy question because I love almost all music, but for me, the music that is produced for the radio and for the mass audience these days, that's the music I have a really hard time listening to. And it's not about the songs and it's not about the artists, it's about the way that these songs are produced. And very often they sound as if they would come out of a can. Like you sit in a car, you turn your radio on, and there just comes one song after the other and they all sound the same. There is no way to distinguish them from, each other. They have no character, and there's a lot of bass and a lot of pumping and a lot of background chorus, and it's just so unreal. It's not authentic at all, and that's the kind of music that I hate. Like, be authentic in whatever you do, and if you write a dance tune, if you write a pop song, if you write a funny song, it's great as long as you're authentic. But don't try to appeal to a mass audience if you don't even know what message you try to deliver. So I guess that's the point that I'm trying to make. Just have a message. It doesn't matter what message it is. Just have a freaking message.
The first snow in your flag. The first snow in your flag. I look out on my window, looking at dreamers, dreamers, love. People run everywhere, searching for gifts to share. I have seen them before, looking like dreamers, laughing, smiling at me.
How does the songs come into your head? What is the process?
Usually, songs come into my head when I have a lot of feelings at the same time. And then there's this moment when all the feelings just disappear and there's this calm inside. And that's when the song comes up. Like it comes sort of out of the emotion, but it's not emotional. It's like you draw a line under all your emotions and you say, oh, this is it. Or sometimes it even comes out of impressions. I have a lot of impressions. I'm walking around, I see a lot of things, and then my mind starts analyzing those impressions, and then suddenly I have a lyric in my mind, and I'm developing the lyric. And then there's a melody, and I try to develop a rhythm. So they kind of grow out of taking in a lot, I guess. You take in a lot and then you kind of sum it up in a song, and then it's you've done something with it. You've done something creative and beautiful with it. And that's I think why we all do music, right? To create something beautiful. This next song is called If. I wrote it when I was very unhappy in love. Like we all write songs when we're very unhappy in love. And one of the words that you think the most when you're unhappy in love is if. So.
If you would only know, if I could only ever show you all the love there is only for you, all the love there is only for you. If you would only want, if you would only wanna know about it, but you know about it, and you keep it quiet, keep your feelings and refuse mine. If you would only see, if you would only ever wanna see, that all this is for real.
How would you like your writing and performing style to evolve?
I would like for it to be less about what I'm feeling, and I would like for it to be more about some, almost fictional characters. Like, I love songs who take on the form of a poem almost, or tell a story, and the story doesn't always have to be related to you personally. And I think the challenge lies to telling an interesting story. And songwriting is a bit similar to writing, to actual fiction writing, because you want to get into the head of a character and say, this character is actually singing a song now, and what would they be singing about? I think artists like Susan Vega or Tori Amos are probably, and also Regina Spektor, those are artists that have really mastered the art of just getting a poem and a story into a song and singing it out of the perspective of someone else. And I think that's where I would like my songwriting to go.
Where to go, where to go, where to go, and what to do, what to do, what to do, those questions in my mind, questions in my mind. What to wear, what to wear, what to wear, and how to walk, how to walk, how to walk, those questions in my mind, questions in my mind. A simple act of love and kindness is so hard to find. A simple act of love and kindness is so hard to find.
So, how long have you been a singer-songwriter?
Well, I think that's a funny question because I personally always ask myself what a singer-songwriter actually does. I mean, coming to New York City and seeing all those people performing at open mics, I came to the conclusion that a singer-songwriter is a person with a guitar playing a folk tune. But for me, it's so much more. And I think a lot of musicians would say the same thing. A lot of musicians, and especially singers who write songs, what they're really trying to do is create new worlds and also new forms of poetry, more like, and also poetry of sound. So I think singer-songwriter, for me, it's almost a similar term to jazz because you can expand it in all sorts of ways, and you can use it in all sorts of ways. And for me, a singer-songwriter is not only somebody who tries to imitate Bob Dylan or Joan Baez, but someone who wants to write the perfect song with the perfect lyric and the perfect harmonies and the perfect melody. And that's actually what we're all trying to do, even though we don't want to say it, but we thrive to write the best song. So yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter probably since I was born because I've always loved songs and I've always found myself at home in songs more than in anything else. And I think that's what makes a singer-songwriter.
Sing your song to me, and I sing mine to you. What a sweet sound that would be. Let your heart for once know with every beat that there is life, and it all falls into place, and it all just makes me smile when you're here, when you're here, and it all falls into place, and it all just makes me smile when you're here, when you're here. and it all can stop.